Alright, hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, it's Brick Galaxy, and today we are finally gonna look at the highly anticipated and highly sought after LEGO minifigures Marvel Studios CMF series 71031. Now, I know I'm a little late to the party, but unfortunately these were only available starting from 1st October where I'm from, which is Malaysia. I placed my order instantly once it came online, and I just got it in the mail a couple of days ago. Now, I got the full set of 12 figures as you can see for 205 ringgit Malaysia, which comes to about 17 ringgit per blind bag, and that's about 4 US dollars when it retails for 5 US dollars, and that was an absolute steal for me. I am so stoked about this series primarily because I'm a huge superheroes fan and an ever bigger MCU fan. Straight off the bat, I will say all of these figures look amazing. LEGO definitely did not hold back at all for a few of these figures, and we'll talk about that soon. And there are also some that are quite disappointing and lackluster in my opinion, and we'll also get to that as well. So without further ado, let's take a closer look at all these figures individually. Alright, starting off with our first figure, we have Wanda Maximoff, aka the Scarlet Witch, who kickstarted Phase 4 of the MCU with WandaVision, and she looks amazing. This is her final ultimate look as of now after the finale of WandaVision. I love the detail that you get on her torso, which continues onto the back, which you can't really see because of the hairpiece and the cape, and the printing actually goes on to her legs, which is amazing. The printing is really accurate and is spot on with her costume in the finale. Additionally, because it is accurate to the actual costume in WandaVision, this means that it is also accurate to how she looks in the comics. And I love this. The printing, the design, as well as the crown and the headpiece, which we will get to that. She gets the red arm printings to represent her gloves, which I love. She also comes with the red cape that is sort of the new soft spongier fabric type that has a single hole, which you can't really see now. And she comes with these red Power Blast pieces, which are far better than the pink ones that we got in the Civil War set. That being said, I am not a huge fan of the headpiece, as some of you may already know. I just don't think it was a good idea for LEGO to incorporate her crown into the hairpiece itself. I wish they would have done two separate molds, much like what they did with Sylvie, which we will get to in a second. And also with the cape, I am not a huge fan, to be honest. I would have much preferred her with a skirt or coattail piece, only because she had the coattail look more than she had the caped hooded look, which I'll find a photo to make a reference to. She does come with an alternate face, as you can see. Let me just turn that figure around. Right there, with her eyes glowing, sort of to mimic her using her powers, which I do love. Now, overall, this is a really good figure despite the hairpiece and despite the lack of double molds. I love that we are finally getting Wanda in a comic accurate suit, and this is just a 10 out of 10 figure for me. Okay, next up we have Vision, or rather White Vision, as he so appears towards the end of WandaVision. Now this figure has some incredible design and printing all around, as you can see on his torso, his legs, which actually go all the way around to the side, which is incredible in my opinion. There's also some detailed printing on the arms, which is a welcome addition. And honestly, there's just a ton of details that were printed on this figure, and in my opinion, it looks really, really good. However, I'm not too certain about the base color LEGO went for. As some of you may know, Vision is supposed to be all white, but LEGO chose to go with a gray base underneath. Now don't get me wrong, the figure still looks amazing to me. It's really good, but I can't help but wonder if a white base would have just made this figure even better. Of course, I understand the difficulties that may come with using a white base, such as matching with the rest of the white lines, as you can see, and I think it would also make the gold details not as prominent. Another thing I would have preferred is if the stone on his forehead was actually blue to make it more accurate, but I believe the gold color is because LEGO had to rely on a concept art, early concept art, which actually does show a gold stone piece on his forehead. Now the printing does include these incredible reflective gold pieces, as you can see, which looks amazing and makes this figure so much better. And then you have the white cape, which is the same type fabric as Wanda's. The one thing I do not like about this is that the cape does flare out quite a bit, as you can see. I don't really like this. I prefer the old traditional capes that we used to get like in those Batman figures. Now, Vision does come with this laptop, as you can see. The screen is really just a printed transparent blue book cover piece, which has the sword logo. It has the hex around, as well as Wanda's house, as you can see. And then you have the keyboard and directional buttons that is really just printed on another piece over there. Overall, this figure is not too bad and is not too bad, I guess. And the last figure we have from the WandaVision series is Monica Rambeau, aka Spectrum from the Marvel Comics. Now, she's a much simpler figure compared to Wanda and Vision, sporting the white and grey sword uniform, as you can see, and unfortunately just a pure black leg piece, which is quite disappointing. Now, she has pretty good torso and arm printing, as you can see, which continues onto the back. And her hairpiece just looks amazing to me. It is so accurate to the character. It is so accurate to the actress. I just absolutely love it. Other than that, there's not much other details printed, and that's quite unfortunate. Now, she does come with an alternate head printing. Let me show you guys, which is this sort of annoyed look, I guess. Honestly, I would have much preferred a printing with her eyes glowing blue, just to represent sort of like her newly obtained powers. Now, Monica does come with this brick-built red and black helicopter accessory, which appears, I believe, in episode 2 or 3 of WandaVision, which is the toy helicopter Wanda found in her front yard. And it's pretty simple and bare, and there's honestly not much to say about it. I think as an accessory, I would have much preferred if Monica was given blue Power Blast pieces to represent her powers. Moving on to the next show that premiered, we have Sam Wilson, aka our new Captain America from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series. And straight up, this is my #1 minifigure from this CMF series, hands down. There's just so much detail printed onto this figure, so much. It's literally on every surface of this figure. If I were to describe this figure in one word, it would be phenomenal. Lego did such an amazing job with this. There are details printed onto his legs, the side of the legs, as you can see, his arms, incredible with even the detail of the star there. His torso is absolutely incredible. The printing is amazing. Lego really went above and beyond with this figure. If you could get one figure from this series, I would highly recommend just getting this figure. I think it absolutely represents the entire Lego CMF series, all in all. I am absolutely blown away. I'm just lost for words at how incredible this figure is. Now, just very briefly taking his wings off, you can see that there is back torso printing on this figure, which is also equally amazing to me with those silver reflective parts. However, if you plan on keeping the wings, they will be covered entirely. The red, blue, white, grey, and even parts of the silver on this figure go really well together, making this figure so detailed and so good. Apart from that, the head printing is incredible with the mask or cowl, as you can see, and it does continue on to the back of the head. Unfortunately, the sides aren't printed over there, as you can see. I guess this is a shortcoming of Lego, but even then, the head printing is simply incredible with the new red goggles, just overall. I think the new hairpiece also works well to represent Anthony Mackie's hair. It is a new printing, and I welcome it. Lastly, of course, we have this incredible new piece as his wings. Really love the details Lego printed onto them, which continues on to the back, as you can see here, where we can also find good old Red Wing, who is represented by this triangular piece that is also incredibly printed with blue and silver reflective pieces. There is no shortage of printing on this figure, like I said. It's just incredible. Now, as you can see here, you can model Red Wing like as if it is being deployed from Sam's bag using the transparent posing pieces that I think we do get a few extra ones overall in this series. Overall, this figure gets 100 out of 10 for me. It's just absolutely incredible and is my top pick from this series. Now, our second and last figure from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series is Bucky Barnes himself, aka the Winter Soldier, aka the White Wolf. Now, Bucky isn't too detailed in my opinion. Lego did do a good job with his torso and leg printing, as you can see. The best part is honestly his vibranium arm printing, which I really love. The black arm base coupled together with the gold and silver lines is really what completes this figure for me, and is usually what I like in all the Winter Soldier figures. Now, the torso printing does continue onto the back, as you can see, and overall, the printing is not too bad. It's pretty detailed and it's pretty good. Now he has a new face now with the beard stubbles, which I think works really well to represent Bucky. And he does get an alternate head printing. Let me just show you guys. As you can see, this is sort of like an angry expression, which is very fitting for Bucky, I guess, much like how he mostly was throughout the series itself. The hairpiece is not too bad in my opinion, although to me, I would have preferred the short spiked hairpiece like the one that was used in Gilgamesh, like this one, but of course in a brown or walnut color. The hairpiece is still not too bad, but I think it's not the most accurate one for this figure. Now he does come with the Captain America shield, as you can see, and a typical gray Lego knife as his accessories. Overall, this figure looks great, and I'm glad we have an updated design and figure for the Winter Soldier. Next up, we have Tom Hiddleston's Loki from the Loki series itself, and honestly, I am quite disappointed in this figure. Now, this is the Loki in the TVA uniform, as we saw in the series itself. One of the problems I have with this figure is the face. That smile is just way off for me. I think it's way too big for the figure, for the face in comparison. That's just my opinion. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It could be fine for everyone else. Now, the other alternate head printing which we get looks fine though. Looks fine to me. And I much prefer this one. I think this will probably be the one that I keep on him on display. Now, the torso printing is good in my opinion. I really like that Lego included the word variant on the back. It's a nice, very nice touch and very nice detail that was added. However, I do think the lines printed on the blazer itself are slightly too thick. As you can see, it's way too thick for my liking. If they were a tiny bit thinner, it would have been much better. The TVA belt buckle and the tie, the little logo on top there look amazing to me, however, they're fine. He is missing arm printing, as you can see, which is unfortunate. And he has minimum leg printing as his pants or his trousers. I do like the hairpiece. I think this hairpiece works really well for Loki and really well for Tom Hiddleston's hair. And I think this hairpiece would also work well with Thor and Odin for future figures if Lego decides to make more, if they were printed in other colors. Now, Loki does come with this TVA mug, as you can see, which I think looks pretty cool. However, I think I would have much preferred a different accessory, such as his daggers, to accompany the figure itself. Now, Loki also comes with Throg, which appears for a split second in the series. I love the face, and I think the printing looks pretty good to me, don't get me wrong, but I don't think Throg was the best choice as the accessory to go with Loki, especially since there was no interaction whatsoever between these two in the series. Nevertheless, I still think this is a pretty cute addition, especially with the tiny Mjolnir that was added there, as you can see, together with the armor, the printed armor, the red cape, as well as the helmet that was all together molded and printed onto the figure as one. I think it's adorable. I think it's adorable to me, much like the Baby Groot little piece that we got. Overall, it is nice to get a variant figure of Loki, different from the usual horn, helmet, and green design figures that we usually get for him. He's not the best figure of this series, but he definitely isn't the worst in my opinion. Next up, we have a Loki variant, which is Sylvie. In my opinion, Sylvie is one of the weaker figures in the CMF series. Now, her torso and arm printing is incredible and is amazing. As you can see, they're just enough, but they're not too detailed in my opinion. The best part is honestly the dual molded hairpiece that Lego went with for Sylvie. I think that partially broken horn half fits perfectly with the hairpiece, and I wish they would have done this for Wanda with her hairpiece and her crown. Now, there is no leg printing for Sylvia, unfortunately, which is a shame. There is also no coat printing or piece, which I would have loved. Her face printing is also quite disappointing for me. Now, this head printing, as you can see, and the alternate one, which I will show you guys. Now, both of them just look too smiley and too happy for me, which I don't think represents Sylvie at all. I think she should have had more stern expression, or as an alternate, maybe an angry expression. Now, she does come with this green sword, as you can see, much like the ones that we got in the the second most recent season of the Ninjago, the Jungle season. I wish Lego did just do a little bit more for the sword itself. It's not completely accurate in my opinion. However, as it is, it's not too bad to represent her powers in conjuring this sword as we have seen in the show. Now, together with Sylvie in the bag is Croaky, which is included as an accessory. And while it was great that LEGO printed the blue printing as the eyes, he's obviously missing the prominent horns that we saw during the show, which could have made Croaky much better, and it would have also made this figure better all in all. As it is, it's just a simple crocodile mold to me, and there's really not much to be said about it. We now move on to the Marvel What If figures of this series, starting with Captain Carter herself from the first episode of Season 1. And Captain Carter is honestly up there in my top 3 figures of this series. LEGO really did not hold back at all for Peggy, and I'm so glad and so happy that we got this figure in this series. The design overall is incredible, it's very detailed. I really love the Union Jack that LEGO printed onto her torso and on the shoe, as you can see over there. This shoe piece is just incredible to me. It's nice to get a different shoe printing now. In addition to that, I really love the arm and leg printing that we got. I think it really makes this figure versatile because the pieces, the arm and leg pieces, can now be used on any Captain America figure to make it look better. And that hairpiece, I think the best part about this figure is the hairpiece itself. It's so good. I love it. It's accurate, and I think it perfectly represents Peggy herself. Even the head printing is incredible, and honestly, all of these features combined, together with the amazing detail printing on this figure, really makes this figure stand out in the entire series and will surely be one of the favorites of this series to me. As you can see, she does come with an alternate head printing, which is this angry or annoyed expression, as you can see, and it looks incredible. LEGO was really spot on in making this figure look like Hayley Atwell. It's amazing. And now the Tesseract is the accessory for this figure, which I love. I love that LEGO used these light blue, sort of translucent and glittery, sparkly pieces. I think they look really good to me. Size-wise, it's definitely more accurate compared to the one that you would get in the Hydra Stomper set. And speaking of that set, this figure is miles better than the one that we got in there. While it is a different printing and a different design overall, I just think that this one is much better. Overall, it's a really, really good figure to me, which without a doubt is going to be one of my top 3 figures from this series. I did not expect to love this figure as much as I did. Moving on, we have another one of my favorite figures from this set, which is T'Challa as Star-Lord. I love this figure, and it was actually the very first figure that caught my eye when the CMF series was first revealed. I thought to myself that this was definitely a must, together with the Captain America Sam Wilson and Captain Carter figures itself. Again, LEGO went above and beyond the torso printing for this figure, both on the front, as you can see, and on the back. Honestly, it's really detailed in my opinion. They gave T'Challa his signature purple jacket, which I love. The dual molded legs are amazing as well, and especially the little leg printing that you can see, which is the leg boosters, or the jet boosters, which are printed on the side there, which I think is phenomenal. We also get a new headpiece to represent Chadwick Boseman, as you can see, which I think looks incredible. I really like it. I think it fits really well. It is a new hairpiece, and honestly, LEGO did not have to make a new one, but they did it anyway, which I think really paid off. It looks really good in my opinion. And the other big thing, of course, is the new Star-Lord helmet that comes with this figure. And this obviously is a variant of the Pinnacle Star-Lord helmet because of the different hair color, which is now black, and the purple eyes instead of the red ones that we usually get. And he comes with the usual blasters that we get, but they are now in silver instead of the gunmetal gray that we are used to getting, which I love. This is a pretty good variant in my opinion, which is obviously it's much more fitting for T'Challa himself. So overall, I really love this figure, and I also think this is one where people might end up buying a few of, just because of the versatility of the leg printing as well, the leg piece. I mean, you can definitely use this for your for the other Star-Lord figures to make them look better. Next up, we have Zombie Hunter Spider-Man, and I think a lot of people will be buying more than one of these figures as well, and I think it's pretty obvious why. The printing on this Spider-Man is honestly amazing. There's just so much detail printed onto his torso, onto his legs, and onto his arms, as you can see. There's just all these different lines on the blue parts that just make this figure so detailed, and honestly, it's really good. This is the best Spider-Man figure that we've gotten so far. I really love that headpiece, which is also a new printing, especially with the shades, added shades of silver on the eyes. The printing is honestly really good. Now, he comes with the classic white rope to represent his webs, or as he's swinging, if you attach it to something. And of course, he comes with the cloak of levitation, as we saw in, I'm not sure which episode, maybe 3 or 4 of the season, which is the rougher, stiffer cloth material as opposed to the spongy and flexible one that we got for Wanda and Vision. Now, Peter does come with an additional headpiece, which is this brand new printed head for him. We also get an alternate head printing. Let me just turn it around for you guys. It's a bit difficult because of the extra cape piece that we get. As you can see, this is the alternate head printing, which is sort of this afraid or anxious expression. Honestly, both these head printings are really good. For Peter, I think they look amazing. They really do capture the feel and expression of Peter Parker himself. And overall, another good figure, although I'm not too sure if we actually needed a Spider-Man figure for this series, especially when we consistently get new Spider-Man sets each wave and every year. To be honest, I am not the biggest Spider-Man fan, so maybe that's why I don't appreciate this figure as much as others. But don't get me wrong, it's still an amazing figure. It's still very detailed, and it's the best figure that we've gotten so far, like I said. Following on from Zombie Hunter Spider-Man, and also from the same episode, is Zombie Captain America. And to be completely honest, I think we could have done without this figure in the series. I think it was unnecessary, and the spot could have easily been taken or given to someone else, such as Doctor Strange Supreme, or Ultron with the Infinity Stones, or honestly even Agatha Harkness, given how much she was loved and how popular she was in the show. Although I am a fan of Captain America himself, I'm not a fan of this zombie variant being included in this series. Honestly, I think it was a waste. But that being said, it doesn't mean that this figure is bad at all. The printing on the torso, on the arms, and the legs are honestly quite detailed, as you can see. It is the basic Captain America sort of detail printing first, and then you have sort of these scuffs, tears, and scratches all around on the torso here. On the legs, you can see this part here. This arm obviously is not printed blue, it's printed with the mint, which I thought was refreshing. It was one of the better points of this figure itself. And an additional detail that was added was the wing on the left side of the helmet, as you can see, has actually been chewed off, which I think is a great detail to be printed. Other than that, it's a pretty basic figure, a pretty basic Captain America figure, but I think some people might be able to use some parts of this, maybe the legs and the arms, on other figures to make them look zombified as well. And of course, this shield printing is new. As you can see, it's not just your typical Captain America shield. It has the additional dirts and scratchers, etc. Overall, a decent figure nonetheless, but as I said before, was unnecessary, and honestly, because of this, he goes to the bottom of the list for me. Last but not least, we have Gamora as Thanos, as she appears in the last episode of Season 1, the finale. Now, if you watch the entire season, you would know that we didn't actually get any individual or origin episodes for her. But from that episode, from the last episode, the finale, I think she was supposed to be the part of the episode where Tony Stark lands on Sakaar. And I believe that is the episode in which the Sakaar mech set was based off. I'm not too sure if the episode was cancelled or that it was moved to Season 2. So let me know in the comments if you do. But anyways, Gamora looks pretty good to me. Initially, I wasn't a huge fan of this figure before watching the last episode, but after I did, I can honestly say I appreciate this figure, and I am honestly glad they included her in this series. Now, Gamora has some pretty detailed printing on her torso, on her legs, and on her arms to represent the Thanos armor that she supposedly gets. I honestly like the details that they've printed. The prints are different from the printing that on the new Thanos that you get in the Sanctuary 2 sets. So that's a plus point for me, honestly. It would have been very disappointing if both figures had the same gold armor printed on. Yeah. Speaking of gold, I really love the pearl gold Lego went for as the base color of the figure. I think it goes really well with all the black bits, as you can see, together with the separate metallic gold that sort of reflects, as you can see right there. I think that metallic gold is really nice. It's a really nice detail that Lego printed. I love the face printing for Gamora, and I love that hairpiece. It is a slightly different hairpiece compared to the ones that we've gotten before. The colors are different. There's now a slightly lighter pink at the bottom there, if you can see over there on the edge there, which is much better and I think more detailed compared to just the one purple color that we have seen in the previous Gamora figures. Now, she does come with an alternate face printing. Let me just give you guys that look, which is this sort of stern or angry look, which I think is very appropriate for Gamora. I like it. She does come with the double blade piece used by Thanos, as you can see, the Thanos blade or blade of Thanos, which I think is pretty cool. It is different. Again, it is different from the one that we get with Thanos in the Century 82 set. All in all, another solid figure in my opinion and a great addition to the set. Alright, there you have it guys. This is the entire LEGO Marvel Studios CMF series and my review of it. Like I said, each of these figures look amazing with very high details printed on them, and they're all unique in their own way from their own series, and overall this entire series is just fantastic, and I do hope LEGO makes more of these in the future. And in case it wasn't obvious enough, my top 3 picks from this series are Captain America Sam Wilson himself, Captain Carter, and T'Challa Star-Lord. Now, for Marvel or MCU fans, no doubt this series will be a great addition to your collection, and I highly recommend it simply because this entire series was phenomenal. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of the CMF series in the comments down below. Are you planning on getting the entire series for yourself? Have you already gotten it? Or do you plan on just buying a few selected ones online? Let me know. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and maybe think about subscribing to my channel for more videos and reviews like this. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!